welcome. It's me, Briony Rose Smith, live in the Finn Library, and today is Sunday. Even though it feels like Monday again, because I had my weird week where I had Friday and Saturday off, and then I was in Sunday, so it weirdly feels like Monday, but it is in fact Sunday. You can tell because I have hands. Welcome everyone, Sunday fun day, indubitably. Welcome Rahel, welcome Benjamin, welcome Normal Size Phantom, and welcome Nimby. Welcome. As you can see, the spreadsheet is here. Oh yeah, Microsoft Excel, we love it. I can't stay for too long, Brady. I'm gonna touch grass today. Holy shit, you're touching grass today? Hope you make it 50% because you're... Pink super? Yeah, you can do that. Spreadsheets, nearly as good as figs. Yeah, they are. Well, I'm proud of you for touching grass, Normal Size Phantom. I hope you have a good time touching grass today. I read 2 things. Only 2 things. But 2 things is better than no things, so, you know, we don't judge. I judge myself slightly, but we don't judge. 277, Trinity. That is not how you spell it. Trinity. Trinity, not the Matrix. Daughter of Wonder Woman. It was a comic. And issue 1. I should put issue 1. Issue 1. Now let me... No! See, now it's got a different microphone. We don't want that. That's a crappy microphone. What is it even looking? It says default. I don't want you to look at any microphone. Quickly, get the snowball back in. Ah. Come on, pick up the microphone. I want you to. There it is. There it is. Better. Yay, we're back. We're back with not terrible audio. Wonderful. Thanks for that, this computer. Oh well, we got that. Tom King, Belen Ortega, and Alejandro Sanchez. Series 1095. And I need to show you specifically why I decided to read this. I like picked it up in the comic book shop and I saw this. And I was like, oh my god, Tutu Robin! Look at her! She's so cute! My ovaries exploded. What can I say? Look at her! Look at her! And there's corgis involved! What more do you need? There's super corgis and bat corgis. Look at them! Ah! It's a great comic. Hi, Dread Excalibur. I'm just showing some images from a comic I picked up this week. It's about the daughter of Wonder Woman and 3 different versions of her from different timelines going to hunt corgis throughout time because they messed up time and turned Superman and Batman and Robins and Superboys into corgis. So now they have to go through time and go get the corgis. What was this one? Oh yeah, that one I showed. Then what was this one? Ah, this is the super corgi. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. Yes, butt. Look at that butt. I don't understand what the problem is. It is an improvement. Look at him. Look at the super corgi. It's such a good time. I had a great time reading this. I needed to show you some of this glorious art of these corgis. Ugh, 10 out of 10. So that's one, and then I read the second issue because both issues were out. Yay! So we could just copy all that over. Briony, me? What would I be searching for cats or dogs though? Where 3 of me go into the time to find corgis. I wouldn't want to deal with the younger me. But then the oldest version of Trinity doesn't want to deal with her either, so I guess that makes sense. Younger me would be, youngest me, she'd be so on it. She'd be so excited for everything. Teenage me is a coward. Probably only slightly more so than me, so... She'd be scared of everything. No, I did that wrong. This one should be 8. And this one should be 7. There we go. There's 2 more. Better than kicking a teeth. Pick your preferred animal. I prefer cats over dogs too. Will not lie. Dogs are wonderful. I have pet 3 dogs in the last 2 days. I went to a place. It was like a food market, and there were these 2. They weren't pugs. Kind of like bulldogs, I guess. And they were just wandering around, these 2 bulldogs. And they decided to sit, like, either side of my feet. And I felt so honored. And I was like, okay, I'm going to stop eating to pet these dogs. Because dogs, bro. If they've honored you by sitting by you, then you have to pet them. It's the law. Absolutely the law. You cannot be ignoring them. That'd be rude. Bull pugs, maybe bull pugs. I don't know. Crossbreeding's a thing. I'm not too familiar with my doggo breeds. 3 whole dogs. You have 2. I've pet them way more times. Like, yeah, I don't get to pet dogs often, so when it does happen, it's so special. And one of them happened today. Someone at the hotel had a dog, and the dog came to say hi to me while I was cleaning, so I got to pet the dog. 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 It's just, yeah. This is the only thing. I swapped to doing hotel cleaning over doing, like, domestic cleaning, of going into people's houses and cleaning. I got to pet dogs and animals a lot more when I went into people's houses, because I was allowed to... I could pet their pets, because their pets would come say hi to me, and I'd be like, hi, pet. But now I don't see as many animals. But also now I don't have to go into strangers' houses, so that's also a plus. Anyway. We are at 48% of this goddamn book. You didn't give the dog one of the pillow chocolates, did you? I did not. We are not posh enough for pillow chocolates, so I did not have access to pillow chocolates. And I would not give the dog a pillow chocolate. I don't think he could even have one of the bickies. Because we have Biscoff bickies for most of the rooms. Some of the rooms get posher bickies. Can I pet that dog? Can I fuck your monkey? I would love to pet that dog. Can I pet that dog? I want to pet that dog. Dogs are great though. I like petting things that aren't trying to lick or nip like crazy. Some animals get a bit overloaded by the potential for attention. Yeah, some of them do. The two pug bulls that were at the food market, they were so chill. They would go around and saying hi to everything and everyone. Biscoff ain't posh. Like, Biscoff is a bit posh as, like, a sauce now, but it ain't posh as a Bicky. It's so cheap as a Bicky. You've been lied to if you think a Biscoff is posh. You can still break into a stranger's house. I could do that, that's true. I could always go to my parents, to be fair, if I wanted to pet a cat, because we've got the family cat still. She's still alive and kicking, just about. She's so old now. She's been to the vets recently too. She's on medication for a thyroid problem, but luckily it wasn't so bad that they wanted to, you know, do the thing. Biscoff ain't posh, but still tasty, and that's all I care about. Yeah! Rabbit Island! Yes, I do too. I would like to go anywhere where I can just, like, lay on the floor and have animals come to see me. Like, going to the zoo is fun, but I get really sad that I can't pet the animals. Like, tapirs. I know that's Nimmy, but like real tapirs. I want to pet one. I want to pet all the animals. Oh, wait a second. 1 second. I think I hit the door. My fiance left me to play card games again today. So I'm gonna go say hi to him, and I'll BRB. I do want to pet. Who doesn't want to pet? And Cat Island, yes! Who doesn't want to give me a pet? But like a real tapir. Have you seen real tapirs? And a capybara. I would love to pet a capybara. And obviously all the big cats. Who doesn't want to pet a big cat? It's like, bro, why is the zoo not a petting zoo? Right? Can't I just touch the things? Petting a capybara might be possible. I would like to do that. Nimmy capybara. You'd like to pet me more than you'd like to pet Nimmy or a capybara? It's quite flattering, I suppose. And any capybara YouTubers? I feel like it's... Yeah, that's true. And no piranha ones either. Good point, good point. There's a lot of fish out there. A lot of fish in the VTuber sea. But not any piranha. There should be a piranha. Because then they could have the jagged teeth. The anime jagged teeth. That'd be so good. Why else did I buy a potato bottle if you... You make a good point, Benjamin. You make a good point. Hello, the yellow. Welcome. Right. I very much suppose we should read about the house near the port marina. I think we were actually here. I think we read this bit. Because I was like, I could start this section or I could go to bed. And I wanted to go to bed. So let's do it. Oh yeah, and the end of this section brings us to 50 if I remember correctly. So when we get to our next subtitle, we've gotten to 50% of this book. It goes, Nimmy capybaras, Briony Saba, Doobie, Callie, Chibi, Briony. Yeah, Chibi Briony isn't a pat. That's very bad. It is very informational. Like, if you want to learn the ins and outs of Pompeii, this is a book for you. This is the 14th one. And as much as obviously we natter a lot, so I've lost 20 minutes of the stream to nattering. It's fun nattering. And you would read it faster if you were reading it on your own because you would read it in your head. That's still nearly 30 hours of reading this book. This book is probably a good 60 hours worth of streams if I really wanted to continue. Into the Bradyverse. The petting verse. Among the house of the silver wedding. That's what we're talking about now. Just a smattering and nattering, indubitably. Very important. Among the more interesting of the large houses excavated in the last decade, in the House of the Silver Wedding, which marks the limit of excavation in the 5th region, the main part was cleared in 1892, and in April 1893, in connection with the festivities with the Silver Wedding of the King and Queen of Italy was celebrated. Oh, so they call it the House of the Silver Wedding because that's why. You're gonna go? Yeah, that's fair. Thank you for popping in. Have a nice day. A special excavation was made in one of the rooms, in the presence of their majesties and of their imperial guests. The Emperor and Empress of Germany. Portions of the house are still covered. The facade, the inner ends of the oculus, and the greater part of an extensive garden on the left side. Fascinating. I didn't think that we'd have something historical then named after something. Obviously this isn't modern, this is at least 70 years old, but after something that would happen during the excavation. Fascinating. Notwithstanding the extent of the house, the greatest length is not far from 150 feet, the breadth of the excavated portion 130, and the number of apartments is plain. The plan is simple. From the fosses we pass into the terrace-style atrium, the largest of its kind yet discovered, with allée on either side and a high tablinum. Back of this is Rhodian peristyle, and the rear of which is an exedra, with sleeping rooms. At the right and the left, opening onto the rear of the peristyle, is one of the oculus. On the other, a long dining room. Pretty sure King of Italy was still king during First World War, so they would be at war 21 years later. Wrong king. Boo! We nearly had a fun fact. But then we fact-checked our fun fact, and it is no longer a fact. But it is a fun thought. Is it still fun if it is not a fact? Another series of apartments lay between the peristyle and the garden at the right, a kitchen and a bath. In front of the garden and extending to the street is a small house, which had been joined to the larger establishment. It was connected with this by a small door under the stairs in the corner of the atrium, which opened into a side room of the large atrium. I wonder if that was maybe then like servants' quarters, maybe? The only king Italy ever needed was Terence Hill. The First World War is known as the source of many fun facts. Some are more factual than others. But are they still fun? The essential parts of the house date from the tougher period. Alterations were made from time to time in the course of the 2 centuries during which it was occupied, but they were not so extensive as to obscure the original plan. The most obvious changes were those affecting the wall decoration. In the small rooms at the right of the atrium are styles of the decoration of the first style, which was in vogue when the house was built. Toward the end of the Republic, almost the whole interior was redecorated in the second style, but without paintings. Brilliant blocks and panels dating from this renovation may still be seen upon the upper part of the wall of the atrium, and on those of the oculus, the etc., and the 2 bedrooms next to the etc., and the front part of the long apoditarium. Afterwards, a few rooms were done over in the third style, of which scanty remains are found. Lastly, after the fourth style had come into vogue, but before 60 AD, as shown by an inscription on a column of the peristyle, A large part of the house was redecorated in the fourth style, including the tablinum, the andron, and the room at the right, the peristyle, the long dining room, and the inner portion of the apoditarium. The long part of the walls of the atrium were also painted over, but with designs and colouring that harmonized well with the decoration of the second style above. In this house, the history of Pomeranian wall decoration can be followed from the century after the Second Punic War to the middle of the 1st century of our era, from the time of Cato the Elder to that of Claudius and Nero. There are few paintings, however, and they are not of special interest. They do not trigger his special interest. I know this book has used the word scanty a lot, but it still makes me think of panty stockings. It does to me too! Especially with it coming out again recently. Scanty and knee socks. In marked contrast with the atriums in the House of the Faun and the other houses which we have examined, the atrium here had a relatively large compulvium. All parts of the room must have been brilliantly lighted. In summer, some kind of protection against the sun was a necessity. It was probably afforded by hanging curtains between the columns. On the side of each column, facing the corner of the atrium, is a bronze ring, through which a cord might have passed to use in drawing the curtains back and forth. The large compulvium, with its supporting columns, suggests the arrangements of the Corinthian atrium. The dimensions of the atrium are monumental. The length is approximately 54 feet, the breadth 40, and the Corinthian columns of tufa coated with stucco are 22 and 3/4 feet high. That is really tall. Good Lord. At the rear of the impulvium is a fluted cistern curb of white marble. In the impulvium, near the edge of the square pedestal of a fountain figure, which threw a jet into a round marble basin in front. Hi, Haunted Story! How's the knowledge maxing going? Wonderfully. We've just learned of the biggest atrium ever! Its columns were 22¼ feet high. Feckin' wild. That's so tall! How heavy do you think those curtains were to require a cord to pull them back? I mean, if they were trying to cover something that was that high, they would be heavy-ass curtains. Like, they would have to be curtains that were, like, literally that big. Like, yeah. Atrium larger than my ex's ego. Indeed! And it's not new, it's old. It's thousands of years old. But yeah, that's wild. And like the curtains would have to be like so big to like get out of that. Yeah. Big. The doors of the rooms at the sides of the atrium were originally more than 13 feet high. Those which we now see are comparatively low. The height was reduced because a second floor was placed in the rooms, thus making low chambers, which were reached by 3 stairways, one on the right of the atrium, the other 2 on the opposite side. This is something I think is interesting, that a lot of houses don't have internal, well, they kind of do have internal stairs, but they don't have stairs in rooms so much. They have it in their courtyards and their, like, the atriums. And also they don't have one staircase to get to the whole of upstairs. You've got to, like, if you're on this side of the house, you got to go down the stairs, and then you got to walk across, and then you got to go up the stairs again. Fascinating. Because these second floors were such, like, a second thought. They never really thought about putting them in, and then they were like, crap, how do we do it? We need more space for things. The upper rooms were lighted by small windows, part of which opened into the atrium, others upon the garden on the left side of the house. These changes were completed before the atrium received its decoration in the second style. There was no second story over the allée. The tablinum, or the rooms about the peristyle, in the left allée was once a large window opening on the garden, but it was afterwards walled up. There's always space for innovation indeed. Normal size phantom. You nearly are. You nearly got twins. You've nearly got twins. Twin memberships. I'm sorry, Hunted Story. I have to explain this every time. I don't know quite how it happened, but there's a bit of a running joke that, like, I think I just said it once because it popped into my head that 9 months was a pregnancy, and it's like, oh, you've been a member for a whole pregnancy, and now this is how we measure memberships, because I don't know. That's just how it works. It's how it works now, just so you're aware. Yeah. I am. This is true. I'm gonna have so much child support to pay. Yeah. He's double pregnant. Yeah, it's twins. Yeah, I don't know. God bless me if someone calls me pregnant for Prime membership. I don't know how this happened, but it did, and this is where we are, and this is where the joke is now. I love it. I love how weird it is. We love weirdness. Weirdness is great. The curtain fastenings on the pilasters at the front of the tablinum have been referred to in another connection. The arrangement of the rooms at the sides is not unlike that in the House of Solace. What? Oh no. You made JCP way I don't even want to finish that sentence! Congrats, JCPY. Congrats. The lucky winner of the new gacha, you have 1 month's pregnancy. Congrats. That water totally didn't go down the wrong way. It's fine. I know. Eggs Wallace, it's fine. I just drank water the wrong way. It's not supposed to go. Grey Cloak, are you trying to kill me? It is fine. This is why I should drink tea. Tea doesn't betray me like this. My gambling ancestors must be ashamed and proud of me for not being pregnant. Have fun touching grass, normal size phantom. Thank you for coming. Have a good day. The arrangement of the rooms on the sides, one retained its original form, the other was divided up into an andron with a bedroom at one side. The peristyle is remarkably well preserved. We find not only the columns in their full height, but also, except on the north side. Send some grass to me through FedEx. Not that kind of grass, though. But also, except on the north side, large portions of the entablature, with stucco ornamentation intact, support on a line of planks placed upon the columns at the time of evacuation. And the decoration of the wall retains much of its brilliancy of colouring. Wonderful. And we do get that kind of grass. The colonnade of this peristyle has been mentioned elsewhere as illustrating the... I keep just wanting to say Rodian, because that's Rodian. I'm so sad I didn't get to play Limbus this week. Screw you, whack! I wanted to play Limbus. Dab me up. We will not have drug trading in my chat, please. That might get me banned. If you're gonna do drug trading, please do it somewhere else. Hello, howdy, 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 welcome. The difference in height between the colonnade in front and the other three sides was accentuated in the decoration. On the walls in front are large red panels separated by architectural designs on a yellow background. The walls under the lower part of the colonnade were painted with black panels. The designs of the narrower intermediate sections were being on a white background. The lower third of the column in front was yellow, at the sides and rear dark red, like that on the lower part of the high columns in the atrium. Thus, a pleasing contrast was made between the portions of the colonnade designed to receive the sunshine, particularly in winter, and the shadier parts, and the higher front served as an intermediate member between the lofty atrium with its stately tablinum and the lower rear division of the house. No drug trading, no drug trading, not allowed. Is it trading if it's a gift? Asking for a friend, the friend is a potato. Technically not, but can we not? Can we not? Yeah, behind a Mackey's is fine. But this ain't behind a Mackey's right now. Time to place. Time to place. The ornamentation of the architrave retains no trace of decorative forms in vogue at the time when it was constructed. The surface, moulded in stucco, is divided into sections corresponding with the capitals and intercolumnizations as the colonnade of the Stabian Baths. In these sections are small figures of birds and animals and other suitable designs, the effect being heightened by the use of colour. I wonder if the Romans did drugs? 100% they did. Hello, Native Gamer, welcome. Yes, it has. That decoration of the peristyle received its present form before the earthquake is evident from an inscription scratched upon the plaster of one of the columns on the north side. Nothing important. Neon Cassidy Augusto. In the consulship of Nero and of Cossus Lentulus, the son of Cossus, that is 60 A.D., the dates given in the rest of the inscription are difficult to explain, and the reading of the number after lunar is uncertain. The memorandum seems too intricate that the 8th day before the Ides of February in this year was the market day of Pompeii, being Sunday, and the 16th day after the new moon, and that the market day at Pompeii came 3 days later. The inscription is the earliest yet found in which a day of the week is named in connection with a date. Oh. Ides of February. I don't know what that means. Should we Google it? Should we educate ourselves? Should we actually understand what this means? Ides of February. Ides Elizii is the only thing that's coming to my head because I've been playing too much Honkai Star Rail! And I need more. And I don't need more. And I do need more. And I don't need more. And I do need more. February. Ides Februarius. Ides. In the middle of the month, Naruhodo. Roman calendar. So yeah, it was around the 13th and the 15th-ish of a month would be the IDs of a month. So we're not quite at the IDs of August yet. That's probably next week. Briony does not know IDs of March. Julius Caesar, unfortunate back century 15. Oh yeah, that's true. Forgot about that. One syllable, like sides. Ides. I'm a little butterfly. Ides. Back surgery is a well-worn say. It's a wonderful description. Surprise back surgery! Et tu, Brutus, et tu. Ides. Ides. The garden! Plot! Enclosed by the peristyle was watered by means of 2 jets at the front corners, fed by pipes under the floor. In the middle was a slight elevation, on which were found 2 crocodiles, a huge toad, and a frog of the whitish glazed earthenware, apparently made in Egypt. The figures are about 16 inches long. Yay! Garden gnomes! Hi, bars. You have been seen, you have been noticed. Your test message is successful. Ides, Layla. Looks like Abraham Lincoln got precision surgery. Back. Yes. Surprisingly, of the 29 stab wounds, only 3 were fatal. On was the sides. 1 was the thighs, 1 was the balls. 29 stab wounds of Caesar salad. You having trouble with chats not showing up again? Boo. YouTube's mean. Thou has been observed. It would be kind of awkward if you couldn't, being that you're a mod. Kind of need my mods to be able to do things. Please don't put my mods in jail, YouTube. They're good, I promise. I handpicked them. He got defiled in many ways, he did. Mostly with knives. Each of the bedrooms at the rear had an alcove for a bed, the ceiling being vaulted over the alcove. Flat between this and the door. A distinction between the 2 parts of the room was made also in the wall decoration and in the floor, of black and white mosaic. The frescoing on the wall of the sleeping room presents a brilliant variety of colours. The decoration of the etc. is in yellow. One of the bedrooms has a small side door. In the large dining room at the right, the place for the table is indicated by an ornamental design in the mosaic floor. In the ochres, the part of the room designed for the table and couches is distinguished from the rest by a difference in the decoration, both of the floor and that of the wall. Just gotta show you that no matter what time you're in, only a couple people make important contributions in the group project. Indeed. No, don't. Well, you can say your secrets if you want, but then I might read them out, and then they'll be on my board forever. I believe they put the TV where the gods could see them. So if there was a shrine, there was a TV on the other side of the room, and then you'd put your sofa near there, and then you could watch TV with the gods. But you would have to think about the judgment of the gods whenever you put something on the TV. So you have to like put something on that you think Zeus is gonna like. Otherwise, not Zeus, this is Roman. Jupiter's gonna like. Otherwise, you might be in for some trouble. The Ochius, the excavation was made from which the house received its name. The peristyle had already been cleared, and the volcanic debris had been, for the most part, removed from the front part of the Ochius, leaving a layer at the bottom about 2 feet deep. The King and Queen of Italy, with the Emperor and Empress of Germany, and a small suite stationed themselves in the corner of the peristyle opposite the opening of the Ochius. When all was ready, a line of workmen proceeded to draw back the loose fragments of pumice stone, exposing the floor to view. Here nothing was found except the bronze fastening of the large doors, but a more fruitful outcome followed a similar search in a room of a small house adjoining the Ochius in the south, in which several vessels of bronze were brought to light. Ooh! Was there anything in them? Did anything survive in them? The TV was a Sony OLED display because they witnessed some fine stuff done by Brutus. Yes. Yep, very sensible. Kind of a shame the gods were so obsessed with reality TV, keeping up with the Caesarians versus the Real Housewives of Rome. Love Island, the alley does Britain, and it sucks. Correct. The bath is unusually complete for a private house, comprising of a long, narrow apoditarium, an open-air swimming tank in the garden, a tepidarium, and a caldarium. Steps led down into the swimming tank at the corner nearest the door of the apoditarium, and also on the side furthest from the house. On the same side, a jet fell into it from a marble standard adorned with a lion's head. If we imagine a thick growth of shrubs and flowers about the tank, we have the setting which explains the tasteful decoration of the frigitarium in the Stabian baths, and in the baths near the forum. He loves his baths, this one. He loves talking about the baths. It's his favourite, one of his favourites, definitely. Roman style puts in aqua. A Roman peristyle! Yeah. The pavement of the apoditarium is especially effective, being composed of small bits of black, white, dark red, green, and yellow marble and stone. Near the rear wall, a place for a couch is left white. The caldarium and the side of the tepidarium nearer to it were provided with hollow walls. A hollow floor extended under both rooms. In the left wall of the tepidarium is the bronze mouth of a water pipe. Perhaps in winter a cold bath was taken here, rather than the swimming tank. In the caldarium the niche for the labrum remains. The bath basin probably stood opposite the entrance, where it could easily be heated from the kitchen. So this is just a section of it. We've had a few figs that have literally just been a section of this massive ass house. This was the house of the richest rich boy in all of Pompeii, apparently. We're nearly there. Above the board hearth of the kitchen, which stands against the wall adjoining the garden, are the vestiges of a painting of the two Lares. Near them, a serpent is seen coiling around an altar, on which is a large pine cone. At the end next the caldarium is a depression in the floor for convenience in building a fire to heat the bathrooms. We did it, folks! We're on 50%! Da-na-na-na! We made it halfway through this goddamn book. Speaking of Roman baths, did y'all know the Roman equivalent to tissue paper is a pumice stone on a stick that they use to wipe their butts? I have heard of that, and it's gross as fuck. Alrighty, I'm back, chat. Zoos. It's been kinda wild in country. It's been really crazy. Yeah. We're not finished. We're gonna have a break from today. That much is for sure. We're gonna read something else next week. That much is for sure. We'll continue reading this for now. But we'll go to our to-read list, and we'll think of something else to read. I'm thinking... Well, we'll talk about that later. We're not on a break now. If there is a Zeus spotted in your R, remember to hide your women and femboys. Correct. Also, funny thing, they had community toilets. They all had to do their deed together at the same time, facing each other. What is this? I want to poop in the same room as other people. I couldn't even imagine that. I remember my fiance recently has stumbled upon some weird TikToks of like the weirdest toilet placements you've ever seen. And some of them are a little bit Roman, I'm not gonna lie. You've got an open plan downstairs where it's open plan with the kitchen and the bathroom. Well, there's just a toilet in the living room. There was one where you go up the stairs and like at the end, at the top, is a toilet. So you'd just be staring down whoever comes up the stairs. Really weird shit. So weird. It is a special kind of horror, special kind of torture. That is our private time. We as human beings get that as private time. We do not want anyone else in our private time. This is where we get to stink without judgment. You do not want our private time. I like the stairs up. It gives a new meaning to throat. It does. On a pedestal. Pooping on the yeah. Pooping on the pedestal. In the corner is a foundation of masonry. Yeah, I read that bit. Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure I definitely read that last sentence. Yeah. We'll talk about it. Once we get to the end of the section, we'll talk about potentially for next book. The colonnade at the left of the house, with its slender 8-sided columns, seems to have been thrown down by the earthquake of '63 and removed. In the place of 4 of the columns, an open-air triclinium was made, like that of the house of Sallust. It is well preserved and shows an interesting peculiarity of construction. When the table was not in use, a jet of water would spring from the fountain of masonry supporting the round top. The water was conveyed by a lead pipe, and at the rear of the colonnade one may still see the stockpot by which the flow was regulated. Stopcock, not stockpot. The stairway at the left of the small atrium led to rooms over the front of the house. Over the rooms at the rear, a bedroom, a central room taking the place of the tablinum, and a corridor was a dining room, the front of which was supported by columns. The stairway being in the corridor, fragments of the tougher columns are lying on the floor. At the back of the house was originally only the small sleeping room, with a simple decoration in the first style, and a colonnade with Doric columns opening on the garden. Later, the colonnade was turned into an apartment, and 2 rooms were built at the left, a dining room and a bedroom. Stinking without judgment, as Abraham Lincoln once said. All poo made equal and fair. Correct. There's so much lead in their plumbing systems. It probably did lead to a lot of madness. Why are columns lying on the floor? Shouldn't they tell the truth instead? We love puns with howdy. Stop what? I know we were just talking about toys, but there's no need for potty talk. There's always need for potty talk. That's why people used to say it's more safer to drink beer than water. True. When the ladies would stay home and brew the alcohol for the week. Oh gosh. Oh, sorry. Yawny baby today. Stopcock. The stairway over. Did I read that? I feel like I might have a central room taking the place of the tablinum. Yes. Maybe. Did I? Did I? Small sleeping room with simple decoration in the first star. Yes, I did. I remember reading that. In the front of one of the rooms is an unusually well-preserved niche for the images of the household gods, ornamented with stucco reliefs and painted in the last style. On the rear wall stands Heracles with the lion's skin hanging from his left arm, his club on the left shoulder. In his right hand he holds a large bowl above a round altar. At the left is a hog ready to be offered as a victim. Maybe a little sus, but I don't know. Take that as you will. Anyway, Julius Caesar was a bottom. He was called out as every woman's man and every man's woman. Wonderful. Shall we take a small break from this then and check out our to read list? Now, I'm actually going to do some research on how long some of these are, because I may or may not have something planned coming up. You know, like, I have a plan. It's my anniversary in September, and we've just gotten into August now. So I kind of want something that's not going to last too long. Yeah, I'm going to do some research on how big these are. It's Epic of Gilgamesh isn't that bad, is it? Let's go on Amazon and see which ones we got. Fair lady, I was thinking about some SCP Foundation lore, if I must. That is true. That was on the vote for membership street for members vote. Member and patrons vote for a thing. And I gotta find things again. We gotta find it on Gutenberg. Gutenberg, not Gutenberg. Project Gutenberg. Project Gutenberger. The epic is kind of not terribly long. Burial is almost a reasonable length. Yeah, so maybe one of those two is a good one for now. RUR is a book. Is a book. I was recommended. RUR. Rossum's Universal Robots is what it was translated from. RUR. Rossum's Universal Robots. Don Quixote is pretty long. Yeah, Don Quixote might not be one we end up doing in the end. Did they gut? Did they berg? Yes. So, Epic of Gilgamashu. $9.99 on the Amazons. What's the page count now? That's what I need in my life. The page count. Because the thing with Gutenberg, it's not very good at telling me the page count. So the page count of Gilgamesh is only 304. And that's the Penguin's classic version, so that's not too bad. What about Beowulf? Beowulf. I saw a copy of Frankenstein recently, and it wasn't as big as reading it on here made it felt. Beowulf, 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 Beowulf. Is that not how we spell it? Beowulf. I put a no. I put a no when I was searching for it. Anglo-Saxon epic poem. Beowulf, Gilgamesh, or Edgar Allan Poe stories. That's a good idea. There's also the Cherokee stories might be interesting, and the demon mythology, because I feel like that would be cut up into smaller parts. Like this book, it'd be easy to kind of drop and then pull back up if needed. It doesn't... I wish it told me how big they are, but it doesn't. The Crusader is very interested in the demonology. Let's have a look, see if I can find it. Beowulf. Beowulf. There's loads of, there we go. A verse translation. Good old Penguin Classics. They can tell me how long it is. So Beowulf's only 208. So Beowulf is definitely one at the moment. I don't know. I'll need to look it back up again. Because I might need to get the link that I put in the Discord again. It's been a while since I looked at it. So I think it was the suggestion box I put it in, didn't I? Maybe. Question mark. SCP, which I did look at. No, maybe it wasn't in reading recommendations. Not your cup of tea, fair dues, fair dues. Not fair book recommendations. Aha, here it is. Free books on mythology. Visit site. Let me have a look. 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 Beep beep. And Crusader liked 88. But we read 88. 7 was the demonology book. 7. Demonology and Devil Lore by Monsieur Daniel Conway. Maybe I should show you what I'm looking at. That would be good, huh? Let's open this up and let's get the Chrome out. Get the Chrome out! Ooh, you don't need to see that bit. This is fine. There we go. So this is the one I'm looking at. Let's make it a bit bigger. Messy stream, messy stream. Oh my god, it's a messy stream. La 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 la. So this is one of them. Demonology Devil by Monsieur Daniel Conway is a scholarly examination of the cultural and historical development of demons and the concept of evil throughout different mythologies, written in the late 19th century. The work delves into the origins, classifications, and social implications of demonic figures, tracing a lineage from ancient deities to present-day representations of evil. The author aims to explore the psychological and anthropological underpinnings of these beliefs while showcasing numerous illustrations that accompany the text. So basically this isn't just about demon lore, it's about how demon lore has and how it has changed and affected our view of good and evil. But like I said, it doesn't bloody say how long it is. It's so stupid. What if, I don't want you to see that bit. Yeah. I don't want you to see Amazon, because I don't want it to accidentally show you, like, my Amazon. But, if I, like, search the author on Amazon, someone's trying to sell this somewhere, let's face it. It's a royalty-free book. Yeah, they are. Complete volume. $694 pages. This is really big. Oh, interesting. Demian is just yaoi with religious undertones. What do you mean? That sounds great to me. No, it's not quite 6. It's over 666. Ah, I see. So demons couldn't actually give you your powers. So there was also a Cherokee one. So this was the free books one. 100 free books. Cherokee myths was also something we were kind of interested in. Myths of the Cherokee by James Mooney. So we'd again be getting it from, like, probably not a native perspective like we did with the Filipino ones. But you know what? It was still interesting. And we just take it all with a pinch of salt as we go, because that's how it be. So let's see what these ones are like. James Mooney. Cherokee stories. Sacred formulas of the Cherokee, apparently he wrote about. Myths of the Cherokee. Here it is. This one's only 256 pages. So currently I think Beowulf is winning purely on length. We have the Japan myths and legends too. My favorite was a record of werewolves were proclaiming they were given powers by good to fight evil. Werewolf paladins! Yay, wolf for Beowulf! I think Beowulf's the one where we're going. Oh, Beowulf, 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 Beowulf. I'm gonna need to find a picky for my thumbnail because this is not a good one. An epic poem written in the late 60s. I remember the movie. I remember the movie of Beowulf. Apparently I can roll the... I could never roll my R's normally. The Krendel. In Hrothgar's realm. In Beowulf. Yeah. I think that was going to be a lot of fun. What other ones did we get on there? There is a Beowulf film. It's not that good. The Viking myth one? You got to tell me what number it is on here. Let's find the Japan myths one. Japan. Myths and Legends from Japan by F. Hadland Davis. Again, we take it with a grain of salt because of the perspective. We're not getting it from a native perspective. Myths and Legends of Japan. This one is 353. Beowulf is still winning. Beowulf is still very much winning. Viking. Viking. Vic. I don't think there's Viking on there. Probably Norse. Yeah, so there's Norse mythology, but not specifically Viking. Beowulf was in fact shorter than Gilgamesh. Hi, glad to be here. Glad you're here. Glad to be here. I'm glad you're here. I like your name. It's so nice. Hi, I'm glad to be here. Such a vibe. Number 10. Aha, yes, this one. The Norsemen. Myths of Norsemen from Ennius to Sagas. The last name on 14. Mabel H. Cubbins and Mary H. Mabel and Mary talking about Asgardian stories. We know how much Mabel and Mary love their stories. H.A. Gerber. Let's see up this one. Anything about King Arthur? Oh, we should definitely look for a King Arthur one. Myths and legends. Oh, he's done a lot. This person's done quite a lot. They've done Romans and Greek. More Greek. It seems their Norse one is one of their least popular. Norse. Hans Gruber. Tales. Oh, it's a Helen. Helen. Helen A. Gruber, apparently. This one is 504 pages. This is quite big. What was the other one? King Arthur you wanted me to look for. Knight. The Legends of King Arthur and His Knights. 10 out of 10, we found one. By Mallory and Knowles. Legends of King Arthur and His Knights. I do like King Arthur stories. I would love to learn more. There's an audiobook version of this, for the record. And I don't want the audiobook version. Can you show me the Kindle edition, please? And just give me a length, please. Please just tell me how long it is. 166! This one's the shortest. This is 100% the short. We might be learning about King Arthur. It's not even on there. Not read by me. Admittedly, I could probably do an audiobook version of this and not be sued because it is, you know, an old-ass book. I'd have to look into it, but I probably could do it. How long is the audiobook? And if it's that short... Yes, currently we got to the 50% mark in the Pompeii book today, and I said that I would do something... like, take a break from it after that, because this is the 14th stream of this book, to be fair. So I'm just looking up what we're gonna read next week. I thought it'd be nice to do that together, so we all know where we're at. 9 hours and 15 and 13 minutes. How? If the paperback is maybe I don't know. Look at the paperback. Does the paperback somehow thicker? No, 120. How is it 9 hours? If it's only 122 pages, that makes no sense. Moon Girl is going to be about 6 hours eventually. And that's way bigger than that. Sad fact, Norse myth we have. It's all written down after the people were converted to Christianity, so most of our POV in that book is distorted by a Christian lens. Like Loki became Satan analog. Yeah, a lot of it is. A lot of it is. I think that's why the Filipino book was kind of interesting, because it very specifically split the stories to pre-Christianity and post-Christianity, which was very interesting to read. Call me Sir Glad, I see. Sir Glad to be here. I am so glad you are here. Hello, Doppel. I have but recently arrived, I beg your pardon. Now, do you intend to pursue a fresh home? Indubitably. We have gotten halfway through the so chunky Pompeii book. It's taken, obviously, this is the 14th stream of this book. We've only just got halfway. So we're going to take a break And I'm looking for something a bit shorter because I may or may not have some plans in September that I'm going to want to swap books again, but I can't tell you about it because it's super secret, and I hope you enjoy it. And I've got some cool stuff and I'm so excited, but I can't tell you about it. Wait! I just thought of something. If I read this, if I read the night book, then there's a particular outfit I need to get. 1 second. I'm just going to my wardrobe. La 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 la. Where's my wardrobe? There it is! I would in fact wear this if we read Gilgamesh too, though. Shiny! We'd have to wear the armor, obviously, if we're gonna be reading about knights. Knightly armor. I love this outfit. Any excuse. Super secret that we know nothing about, that you keep telling us about. That secret? Yeah, that one, yeah. Is that not how you build hype? You just kind of tell people about it, but don't tell anyone about it. The Saint Seiya armor? Yeah! We're gonna read about knights, so I want to be knightly too. I can be knightly too, just because I'm a lady. I'm gonna download that. We're gonna go download it. I'm gonna have a look at it now. Why not? Henceforth, address her as Dame Briony. Yes. Do women get the Sir title too? They don't. But, I mean, I wouldn't mind being Sir Briony. It's cooler than Dame, let's face it. Sir is kind of cooler. And I want to be cool. I want to be cool like the knights. So, yeah. Sir Briony. Right. We want EPUB. I'm going to download it now. Book. Downloading a book. Night. Downloading a book. I had a book. I mean a big ass book. Maybe something like a giant book is better. I'll get halfway and drop it on your face. There we go. Open that bad boy up. Beware that if you read about King Arthur, chat will be flooded with Monty Python and Holy Grail quotes. I would be disappointed if they were not. Maybe I should get some coconuts for the stream. No, that's not the right one. That's not the right one. There we go. We're gonna flip now. Why not? I don't want to read about Pompeii anymore. I'm done. I'm free. I'm free! A lady is bestowed the title Dame upon receiving of knighthood. However, should she elect to be addressed as Sir, there exists no exception hitherto. Indeed, I prefer Sir. I know it is masculine, but it is cooler, therefore I want it. The outfit doesn't have shoulder vents. Make sure you don't have heat burn. That's true, it doesn't. It does have a small titty vent, so that kind of helps a little bit. And it is a dress, so I have a bit more ventilation down there, too. Can I see the whole thing? I haven't worn this since, like, karaoke ages ago. So this is the whole thing. Look at it. Yeah. I'm so shiny. Shiny, shiny, shiny. I know, it is Gilgamesh armor, isn't it? Shiny, 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 shiny. She's so shiny. La 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 la. Can I turn? 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 What's the button? Where's the button? Here's the button. La 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 La, la, la. And I see, like, some of it, I've got a bit more ventilation in the back there. For some reason, my knees are ventilated. I don't know why. They just are. I am a little bit spiky, and I will stab chairs, yes. It's okay. We fix it. The tea fairies will fix the tears. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. What if it's power armor? You activated the cooling system. Yeah. Okay. It is wonderful, isn't it? It's glorious. I believe if you're curious about the artist who made this, it is in my streaming assets channel on Discord. Everything I use is on there. I need to go tweet about it. The lady who made this, apparently she VTubes with golden armor a lot, and this is just one of the golden armors that she's used. Where is she? Let's go. I wanna show you her Twitter. Hey, see, she VTubes with like shiny. Let me show you. Let me show you. She deserves to be shown off. We can show her off. She's a Japanese VTuber, so I don't really. There, here we go. Look. She does the shiny things. What's going on? Haunted story is that we've picked to read about King Arthur, so I put my armor on because I too would like to be very knightly. And now I'm just showing off the Japanese VTuber who created this armor. She made this outfit. Not specifically for me, she just threw it out there. But look at all the like shiny gold armor she wears. Like, look at the outfit. She's so cool. But yeah, I just wanted to show her off. She deserves the Kinu. Yeah. I just wanted to show her off because she deserves it. It is legit cool, isn't it? We're about to quote Monty Python, the Holy Grail, for an hour while Briony shows off her lack of ventilation in her armor. It's true. And because my hair's not tied up, I don't have ventilation around the neck like I normally would either, so. Are we ready? Are we steady? For... Oh, Lancelot illustrated this for us. Thanks, Lancelot. It is most gracious of you to bestow commendation when commendation is warranted. It really is warranted. I mean, I wore this for the karaoke, but I haven't pulled up the karaoke video again for a bit. And like I said, if I do use something, it's in the Discord, in the streaming assets. The links are always there for you to find. Legends of King Arthur and his knights, not just King Arthur. Ooh, we've got nice pictures in this one. Fabulous. The marriage of King Arthur. Should we have a look at the chapters? Okay, no, people didn't put the chapters well. I have no idea. We don't have good chaptering. That much I can tell you. Oh, there's the actual book. No idea what's going on. Oh, that picture's the marriage of King Arthur. Preface to the 8th edition. The publishers have asked me to authorize a new edition in my own name of this little book, now long out of print, which was written by me 35 years ago under the initials JTK. In acceding to their request, I wish to say that the book, as now published, is merely a word-for-word reprint of my early effort to help to popularize the Arthur legends. It is little else than an abridgment of Sir Thomas Malory's version of them printed by Caxton, with a few additions from Geoffrey and Monmouth and other sources. and the endeavour to arrange the many titles into a more or less cohesive story. Consecutive story. The chief pleasure which came to me from it was, and is, that it began for me a long time an intimate acquaintance with Lord Tennyson, to whom, by his permission, I dedicate it before I was personally known to him. Monmouth. Geoffrey Mothman. Correct. The fanciest tea, indeed. Addendum by Lady Knowles. In response to a widely expressed wish for a fresh edition of this little book, now for some years out of print, a new and 9th edition has been prepared. In this preface, my husband says that the intimacy with Lord Tennyson to which it has led was the chief pleasure the book brought to him. I have been asked to furnish a few more particulars of this point that may be generally interesting, and feel that I cannot do better than to give you some extracts from a letter written by himself to a friend in July 1869. So what happened? The publishers went to him and were like, hey, we want to republish this book of yours because everyone wants another copy. And he's like, sure, will you write a little bit at the start? Okay, writes a tiny little bit at the start. Publishers look at it. Hey wife, will you write a bigger one? Sure, and I'll even throw in some personal letters on there. 10 out of 10. Nay, it appears thus, yet I have never penned a tome of this nature. I am but a fledgling scribe. I am, too. Your husband provided a pleasure and intimacy to Lord Tennyson in 1969. Yummy. I left my tea too long and it got cold. Boo! Dear Redacted, I am so very glad you approve of my little effort to popularise the Arthur legends. Tennyson has written his first 4 ideals of the king before my book appeared, which was in 1861. Indeed, it was in consequence of the first 4 ideals that I sought and obtained, while yet a stranger to him. Oh, so, like, this was the man who inspired him. And that's why it was such a pleasure to meet him, because he was his hero. Aw, that's so sweet. 1 second. Need to look at my phone. Sought and obtained, yet while a stranger to him, leave to dedicate my venture to him. He was extremely kind about it, declared it ought to go through 40 editions, and when I came to know him personally, talked very frequently about it and Arthur with me, and made constant use of it when he at length yielded to my perpetual urgency, and took up again his forsaken project of treating the whole subject of King Arthur. He discussed and rediscussed at any amount of length the way in which this could now be done, and the symbolism which had from his earliest time haunted him, as the inner meanings to be given to it. Brought him back to the poem in its changed shape of separate pictures. He used often to say that it was entirely my doing that he revived his old plan, and added, I know more about Arthur than any other man in England, and I think you know next most. It would amuse you to see in what intimate detail he used to consult with me, and often with my little book in front of us, over the various tales, and when I wrote an article in the shape of a long letter in the Spectator of January 1870, he asked to reprint it and publish it with the collected Idyllies. For years, while his boys were at school and college, I acted as his confidential friend in business and many other matters, and I suppose he told me more about himself and his life than any other man he knows now. This does sound a little bit... They were the bestest of friends. History will know them as friends. And they talked forever about wonderful shiny knights. Just a little gay. Potentially a little gay. Well, they were yaoi. They might be yaoi. Yes. Knights didn't have phones. Yeah, sorry about that. For some reason, someone thought it was good to put something in the work WhatsApp at 9 o'clock at night. Heckin' weirdos. Yaoi level friends that even talked about shiny men. I know, right? They met up and talked about hot men together. They met up and talked about hot fictional men together. What's more gay than that? So most of what his wife wrote was intro. It was just a letter her husband wrote to someone else. Did I get that right? Yes, you did, Benjamin. Yes, you did. Thou dost truly delight in allowing thy imagination to run amok in that drop. It sparks joy. What can I say? Textbook definition of gay. Yeah, exactly. And the wife evidently approves. The wife is like, well, this is my husband, and this is my husband's husband. Two dudes talking to each other about sweaty nightly men late into the night. What's stranger than two men? 5 feet apart, because they're not gay. So we got chapter 1, Finding Merlin, the Flight of the Dragons, the Giant's Dance, the Prophecies of Merlin and the Birth of Arthur, Uther attacks the Saxons and the death of Uther. We've got chapter 2, which is going to be Merlin's advice to the Archbishop, the Miracle of the Sword and the Stone, the Coronation of King Arthur, the Opposition of the 6 Knights, the Sword Excalibur, the Defeat of the 6 Kings, the War with the 11 Kingdoms. With the 11 Kings, there's a lot of kings. There's a lot of kings. Finding Merlin, Finding Nemo spin-off. I think I hear Lego. Knights didn't have Lego. How do you know the Knights didn't have Lego? It is not deemed prescribed to engage in an intimate bond of the same gender during this particular epoch. It is most certainly not deemed prescribed. That much is for sure. But that doesn't mean it didn't happen. Because a lot of things happen behind closed doors. And if you think about it this way, if things were going to happen that were very much frowned upon by society, they were never going to get written down because you didn't want people to find out about it. Therefore, people in the future can't find out about it. So we can only assume that it probably did exist. And if there's a lot of hints about people getting together, and who was a guy who had sort of similar rumors about him? He's a tiny blue-haired child in Fate. He wrote The Little Mermaid. Hans Christian Andersen had very similar rumors about him and a bestie. But there's a lot of points in history that were like, they were the best of friends, when they clearly were not. But we ship men, whatever age and culture they may be. Huzzah! Not whatever age. Not whatever age. Not whatever age. Hello, Zianta. Welcome. They use different names to skirt around gay. Yes, Christy Anderson. You ready to be learned? We're going to learn about... We're not reading Pompeii anymore. So you're not going to learn about Pompeii. I do apologize for that. We're going to be reading about King Arthur now, which is why I'm wearing armor. Because you got to be ready when you read about King Arthur. But I should change this to... Oh god, this title's so long. The Legends of King Arthur and His Knights by... I'm gonna have to change this. What was the author called? Sir James Knowles and Sir Thomas Mallory. So this was technically two people who had been knighted talking about knights. Sir James Knowles. I'm just gonna copy this. Copy, paste. The other guy isn't mentioned. We have Lancelot Speed, which is an amazing name with the illustrations. But we have these chapters. We have a lot to go through. Illustrator's note. Let's find out a note from Lancelot. There we go. Gotta make it small. Still being learned to? Yeah, we'll still be learned to. Also, doesn't Arthur get cucked by Lancelot at some point? I wonder if that'll be included in this book. Probably. Should we have a look at the titles? Attacked by Sir Agravain, Sir Modred, and the 13 other knights. I'm sure there's got to be... The Queen quarrels with Sir Lancelot. Sir Lancelot and his tourney. Sir Baldwin and the Knight Hermit. So maybe... Maybe. We got a Galahad. Sir Galahad finds the Sangreal. Yeah. Galahad. But first, let's hear from Lancelot. If I learned anything from these reading streams, it's that anyone of note in the past was bad with money. I wonder if I could go to the UK and say that Ulfa owed my ancestors money, which I am collecting. I don't think you could. It appeared that she hath been duly knighted. Henceforth she adorns herself in the armour. Yes! My favourite knight, Galahad. Mostly because of fate. No! Actually, I take that back. If I'm going on Fate Night specifically... It's... Oh god, who is it? She's small. She's cute. She's a baby. Gareth, though. I want to show you Gareth. Yes, we are so definitely learning today, and I'm not getting distracted by literally everything. Yeah, I'm a big Fate fan. And I think everyone should see my baby girl. No, let me see the baby girl. Stop not loading things. Well, you know what I can do? We can just show you Google. Gareth! Allow me to introduce you, Gareth. Gareth the baby. Gareth best girl. Gareth the best ever. Gareth. Have I mentioned Gareth? Brave Sir Robin. He's bravely ran away. Yes. When I think knights, you think Lancelot, you think Kogias, I think Fate. But Gareth is important. Not that important in the grand scheme of things, but I know, she's so cute! The cutest of babies. What amount of times didst thou allocate on a daily basis whilst thou went engaging in penning my own narratives? I don't know. It was a long time ago since I've been able to write daily. I used to try do at least 5 to 10 minutes a day. I wasn't very good at doing things daily. I'm terrible at introducing things to a new routine. But it's a case of I would try do maybe even just a sentence or two a day. Like, if you keep your expectations small, then it's, like, easier to get into it. And then sometimes you might find a flow and you'll go for hours. Other times you might only get those few sentences down and that's it. I'm a Fate fan too. I've been in the Fate fandom for about 4 years and basically learnt the entire lore by heart. Impressive! I started with Dean's Stay Night a very long time ago, and I do not know the lore that well. Of scenes from the legends of King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table, many lovely pictures have been painted, showing much diversity of figures and surroundings, some being definitely 6th century British or Saxon, as in Blair Leighton's fine painting of the Dead Elaine. Others, for example, What's Sir Galahad, show knight and charger in 15th century armour, while the warriors of Brune Jones wear strangely impractical armour of some mystic period. Each of these painters was free to follow his own conception, putting the figures into whatever period most appealed to his imagination, for he was not illustrating the actual tales written by Sir Thomas Malory. Otherwise, he would have found himself face to face with difficulty. Yeah, fake Go stuff is a whole nother kettle of fish. Yeah, you do need to be in the zone to write, but you also can't force the zone. There's nothing you can do. If your brain is just like, nope, no writing today, you've just got to be like, fine, brain, fine, we'll do something else. Pray tell, did it require the span of a year for thy tome to reach its completion and publication? Yes. And for about 2-3 years afterwards, I managed to quite consistently write 1 book a year for a while. I've since stumbled and not written a book in a long time, but, you know, we did good for a bit. The Fate Lore is hard to pass, to say the least. What is up with the moon? And why does it have cats? You don't need to know about the moon, it's fine. You don't need to know about BB and the moon cell and all that nonsense. King Arthur and his knights fought, endured, and toiled in the 6th century when the Saxons were overrunning Britain, but their achievements were not chronicled by Sir Thomas Malory until late in the 15th century. Sir Thomas, as Froissart has done before him, described the habits of life, the dresses, weapons, and armour that his own eyes looked upon in everyday scenes around him, regardless of the fact that almost every detail mentioned was something like 1,000 years too late. Had Malory undertaken an account of the landing of Julius Caesar, he would, as a matter of course, have protected the Roman legions with basient or slade, breastplate, pauldron, and pallet, cortiquet, I don't know what this is supposed to be, tasses, and the rest, and have armed them with lance and shield, jewelled hilt, sword, and slim misericorde, while the emperor himself might have been given the very suit of armour stripped from the Duke of Clarence before his fateful encounter with the butt of Malmassy. Did not even Shakespeare calmly give canon to the Romans and suppose every continental city to lie majestically beside the sea? By the old writers, accuracy in these matters was disregarded, and mistakes were not so much tolerated as unperceived. In illustrating this edition of the legends of King Arthur and his knights, it has seemed best, and indeed unavoidable, if the text and the pictures are to tally, to draw what Mallory describes, to place the fashion of the costumes and armour somewhere about AD 1860, and to arm the knights in accordance with the tabard period. Oh, that's funny. So basically, the author, the illustrator's like, Lancelot's sitting there like, this text is not historically accurate, but now I have to deal with that. One second. I'm going to go very, 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 very quick BRB. Very, very quick. That is not the right screen. Sorry, force of habit. Just gotta get a sword. Yeah, I have some swords. Do I have any right now? Oh, I do have a sword. In the room. Right now. It's wooden. It is a replica of Sword no Shirayuki from Bleach. Rukia's sword. So, list of illustrations. So we've seen the marriage. So this is we don't need, I don't want spoilers. Chapter 1. Do we really want to read chapter 1? You have returned from cutting grass. I did hit 50. So that's why we've swapped to King Arthur. Yeah. I have Rukia's sword. I have a wooden one. It does not have ice magic. I would appreciate if it did. I did have a Hyorimaru. I did have a better ice magic sword, but it broke a long time ago. Sad times. Oh Lord. Oh lordy lordy loo. Will the threat be followed through? Ugh. I'm thinking. You actually did it, you mad lad! Considering an early wedding present? Normal size Phantom! Merch! Wedding? Who's getting married? I'm gonna get married at some point. I am engaged. I have a fiance. Absolute mad lad. Thank you. Ah! $100. What in the world? Ding 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 ding. Yeah, I am going to get married at some point. We're just putting the wedding fund together. I'll put this straight in the wedding fund. The sum in question constitutes the entirety of my present life savings. Yeah, that's fair. That's a lot. How come it didn't put you into first place after that either? This is the really how stupid this stupid ranking system is. You give me $100 and it still doesn't put you into first place. Of course I'm flummoxed by the money. Like, how are you supposed to react when someone throws $100 at you? Like, what? 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 You're built different. You should be top of the chat room. $100 should buy you the top of the chat room. If it doesn't, I'd be shocked. No, normal size phantom is fine. Yeah, you did one. You did one! And that's all. No more. One acca per forever, okay? One acca. Only one acca. It really should. It's crazy it doesn't. YouTube is stupid. Oh, yeah. I was thinking about ending the stream. No, I'm not gonna. I don't know if I should start this yet, though, because, like, we don't have that much time. How big are these? I don't want to start it yet. How about we do something else for now? Should we doodle? One acca super per hour. No! Per person. One acca super per person. Then, like, you don't do it. One for Briony. One for me. Maybe we should doodle. I want to doodle. I got my great tablet right here. Let's open Paint and do some silly doodles. Because I can. I don't know what to do. Every time I try do Paint though, it's always a little weird. I don't know why. That is not how it should look. Or is it like Windows 10? There we go. We can see. La, 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 la. Should we draw normal size phantoms icon? Because of the hundo. I think that's what we should do. Let me see if I can make it as big as I can. Normal size phantom with his scary icon. Go to channel. That's what I need, and that will show me your icon as big as possible. No, one per no. Yeah. That's exactly what we're gonna do. I'm going to recreate it in Paint. And it goes, it's like, it got a little here, and then it's like here. It's a bit of a right angle there, and you have a nose. Like this. And then he's got his mouth, and it goes, rawr! Should we make it cute, though? Should we somehow make it cute, though? I want to make it cute. And then we're just gonna get the and then it should have it like he got the teeth like rawr, and then it go here. Like that. Perfect. I have Twitch, but I like YouTube more. Hello, Tala. Welcome. We're not really reading anymore, just so you know. Welcome. You're sneaking in there. Alright. And then he's got it like this. And then he's gonna be fluffy. Fluff. And then there's like a bit here. Admin abuse! It's yeah, he's allowed. I'm sorry. It's kind of one of the perks for both working and watching. You do get to abuse admin sometimes. Abuse! We gotta get this tongue in properly. We gotta tongue. But we're gonna make it cute. Maybe we should have the tongue like all over here. And then be like a dog. Like a dog. He's a happy dog. Rawr! She can doodle. I won't say she could draw. She has some level of skill. Rawr! And then there's he got some lips too, so we did do some more out here. Yeah! Turn him into a corgi and put him in the time stream! Yay! Grr. And then it's darker around here, so if we just kind of scribble out here, like this, yeah. And we should get like a similar vibe to your PFP. What does a PFP stand for? He's an American werewolf in London. He's got gums. We need to put his gums in. Gummy, 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 gummy. And now I want to erase his teeth and make him just gummy. Where are my teeth? Needs to do down here as well. And then I need to get this out of the way. Gummy, 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 gummy. Where is these sheepies here? Whippersnappers! Where did you put his teeth? PFP profile picture. Ah, thank you for telling me. What manner of image doth thou sketch? I am sketching normal size phantoms PFP. Because he did an Akasupa, and I don't want to start the first story of the King Arthur book till next stream, really. So I thought this would be a good distraction and some quality content until next time. We'll need to, like, shade in the mouth a little there. Yeah, we'll just shade it in some more. Shade. Let's make it more cute, though. Absolutely. Quality non-content. Make it big eye, like, wow, wow. He's seen a ball, and he loves it. Wow. I love this so much. What? Get someone who looks at you like this wolf looks at, I don't know. Should we get a bone? Bone for the doggo. Yes, it's gonna look a bit dodgy, but it's a bone. There we go. Get someone who looks at you like this dog looks at this bone. Thus is the practice you observe upon occasion of receiving patronage. This is not normally, I won't lie. This is a special occasion that we're just having a little fun with. Doggy, 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 doggy. Making more hair. I've never had an Akasupa before, so we're just. Probably should give him his teeth. You know. What's a werewolf without his teeth? Teefy, 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 teefy. And then a little teeth in the middle. Yeah! Rawr! There should be a tooth here, really, because the big tooth is around the corner, technically, like that. Werewolf. Bearwolf. Just one tooth. Make him look like Derpy from K-pop Demon Hunters. Oh my god. We can try that. He needs, if that's the case, he needs, like, side teeth. Because that's part of what makes Derpy, is that he can't close his mouth properly. So he needs a big side tooth, and it means he needs a big side tooth over here. So he's going to have like a side tooth out here as well. And then he still needs some bottom teeth. There we go. Okay, so if he's going to be Derpy, he needs even bigger eyes. Because Derpy's eyes are freakishly big. Like this. I think I need a picture of Derpy just to remind me. Derpy. K-pop demon. I'm so glad that's a very easy search. Look at him! He's so cute. Bigger eyes and I can't really do other directions when you can only see one eye. We can give him some little dots like Derpy has. And they're not gonna look at the thingy. It's very easy for Derpy to look a little freaky. I think that's kind of what we look like. Derpy, the Derpy cat, he's Derpy, the Derpy werewolf, he's Derpy. Actually, looks a little more freaky, I'm not gonna lie. We should put a little invitation on his tongue. He's just gonna give you an invitation to go see your demon boyfriend. You should take it. Any other details can I put for Derpy? If Phantom is Derpy, that means he delivered $100 in his mouth. You can't stay for long. You just finished busting out both chapter 1 and chapter 2 of your thesis paper. Woo! Pass out on the couch. Yeah, fair enough. To be fair, we are basically at the end of the stream. Did I just do that entire bit with me covered? This is a beautiful piece of art. Just absolutely. I'm genuinely quite impressed by that. That looks really good. I was behind there the whole time. I didn't even notice. I was too busy drawing Derpy. Anyway, it is time for me to end the stream. Assume that was my intention. No, it was not. It's fine. Even if it was, it's fine. We were having a good time, and that's all that matters. Let's get a nice little snip of this. Make sure it's in... We just stick it... Nope, I can't do that. That's got OBS in that snip. I need to close OBS for a whole minute. There we go. Copy! Paste into the Discord. Art. Genuinely quite impressed by that. I'm not gonna lie. Looks really cool. No problem. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. Thank you, everyone in chat. Thank you, everyone in that. Thank you, anyone who watches the VOD. To mine eyes, it doth appear akin to a visage obscuring device. I must confess. Yeah, not intention. Oh well. It was fun. If you have not already, I'd highly appreciate it if you could leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. If you've already done that, there's Twitch. You give the Twitch a cheeky follow. If you've done that, you can join the Discord. If you've done that, you can follow the Blue Sky. And if you've done all that, then I'm sorry, you're kind of out of ways to support me for free, so you're going to have to, like, pay money if you really want to continue supporting me after that. But if you wanted to stop supporting me there, that is also fine. This is absolutely fine. Everything is fine. You can do that via membership or Patreon, where you get, memberships get emotes, Patreon get monthly drops of Moon Girl chapters. Both get chat commands, and both get the ability to vote for an audience-chosen game every month. This month has pretty much... I think it's Uma Musume. So next week I will be playing the horse game at some point. I don't know which stream I'm going to replace, but it'll be that one. You've got Kofi, where if you like my emotes, you can commission me to draw some. And in the Kofi shop, there is small audiobooks of short stories that I have written. There's Briony Rose Crafts for crochet goods. There is an audiobook on Audible. There is Little Red and the Baba Yaga, a choice-based game that I made ages ago on itch.io. And last but not least, my merch store, where you can get ebooks versus copies of books that I've written. A notebook, a pillow, a crochet potato. There's only 2 of those left, by the way. And stickers. Yay! But that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much, Emma, for coming. I had fun. I hope you had fun. This has been Briony Rose Smith, and I've been Library. Good.